I used to tell time on my watch, but I don't do that anymore. I don't know why I wear a wristwatch, but I still do. Checking on the phone, it says 6, and I want to be respectful of your time. And so, first of all, let me tell you, thank you for coming out tonight. I will tell you this, if you have some friends or neighbors that couldn't be here for reasons they couldn't control, we are going to try to get this recorded and put it on our website, possibly Facebook, and what other avenues we can. My name's Joey Light. I'm superintendent of schools here, and let me first express that we appreciate you choosing Wylie ISD. I know, and our staff knows, you have choices, and we appreciate you choosing to be in Wylie ISD, and we hope and pray that we don't disappoint you. When you come to our schools, we know that you are placing your trust in us to take the very best care of your children, and we don't take that lightly. So thank you again. And then the last thing I want to say before I get started in the presentation is we also appreciate your patience, as the construction process we know is painful, not just the construction itself, but all the things that go along with it. And so I appreciate your patience as we go through that. I want to take an opportunity to introduce a couple of people that are going to be here, and you will get to know them better. Assistant Superintendent Craig Bessent. Mr. Bessent, if you'd stand up so they can see you. He's in charge of a lot of things, and so he's also going to be here tonight if you have some questions relating to his areas. Miss Kim McMillan is going to be the principal at Wylie East Elementary. And so she's been with the district many years, and we're excited about her doing that. And then finally, Mr. Chris McCurley, he's actually a school board member who had a chance to come out tonight, and we appreciate him coming and joining us. I'm going to go through the presentation, and I would just ask that if you could hold your questions until the end, because I may be answering your question, but we will give you an opportunity to ask questions. I think we can go through this pretty quickly so you can get on with the rest of your evening. All right, and as I mentioned, we're going to be recording this, so when we get to the Q&A, we will try to repeat every question. If I forget, help me remember to do that. Okay, so if you're aware that we are, of course, the first thing that happened. Just like we had it planned. I'm frozen, guys. Is there a reason I would be frozen? Is there a freeze on the projector? There it is. Okay. As you know, our district is a east and west running district, and most of our population resides in the middle third of that population, of that map. And as a matter of fact, about 45% of our students live on the east side. And so the reason we hoped you would come this evening is so you are better prepared for what's next. This is the location where Wylie Elementary is located. Wylie located right about 8 yards down the road. That's Colony Hall and Maple. So I think most of you know this, but make sure questions get those out. Where will your child go 2018? Coming year, in August. If you have a pre-K, kindergarten, or first grader, they are going to go to new campus. If you have a second or third grader, they're going to stay right where they are this year. If you have a fourth, fifth grader, they're going to stay where they are this year. Sixth grade, next year, say middle school, seventh, eighth, high school, second. So if you know child's going to be in next year, you can see where they will be. Again, they'll go to that Colony Hill and Maple. What about the next year? All the construction should be completed. Pre-K through grades 4 will be at the elementary campus. Grades 5 through 8 will be high school. This is an architect rendering of what that Wylie Elementary looks like. The colored part you see on the map is what's going to be completed in Phase 1. That's what we'll open school with. Phase 2 is the area that is not in color. That's what we will, matter of fact, started working already, but we're going to have 28 classrooms. We're going to have a small, and this is about the size of 4 classrooms. Fit young kids, don't need a full gym. Full-size cafeteria and full administration kitchen. They'll have everything they need. Those color board, which is up here. I want you to know that this is an elementary, right? It's real appealing for that age group. We will have areas that around the classroom door there will be certain colors associated with the door, so young kiddo help them to find their classroom by the color. This is a current slide of the south side of this is Colony Hill up here. This is Maple left side. So you saw this is the academic area for students. This part, back part of it, PE fitness area, kitchen. Administration area is right up here. This area, north side, parties. This same day, take a picture from the west side. This pictured north side again. This is Colony Hill. This side of we prepared for a question. When's the building going to be ready? I think a lot of people drive by out. Is that going to be ready to start school? Well, all the experts telling us yes. August 12th. All of their different trades that strongly they're going to lead it and hand it over to us. Actually, before the out of first day of school, we moved it back this year 1 week just because of this construction. Start on August. So will the roads be ready? Now, a lot of you may be in the road. Again, I apologize, inconvenience. But again, the roads should be ready by August 15th, and the first day of school is 7th. Now, I say that with a caveat because on August 15th, the intersection, the part north side of the school, are the total paving project takes longer. That they had that line that for us to be able to get our drives drop. Roads have been a difficult deal. We've been started for long. Not easy to get everything. Again, we August. How will buses work? Now, a lot of you may take kiddos, that's fine, but we're going to run buses directly. Feel like big benefit. It should be better because the students we're still going to have daycare runs like we always have. And there's also going to be a bus go with. They do not home alone. I have a nice older sibling. I go. That's our current practice, right? Have an older $60,000, a lot of money anymore. But what happens if the building isn't finished? Well, we do have a plan B, but we're not even talking about it. That's a bad plan. We are going to be committed. We're kind of like the old pig. We're committed to this thing like a pig, not the chicken. Correct. We are all in. And again, we apologize. Now, I know that you have much better questions than what I've addressed. Open it up. Got to be somebody to break. Got to probably one that. Yes, sir. I didn't plan on all these questions. He asked a good question. Morale on the east and west side, taking care of a lot of different. Let me make a couple. From day one, we had to look at what we were going to be doing with increased housing. Knew that we had to do something. We looked at our options. We said, I've been down 707 8. It's 730 to 8. It's a tough road to travel. Oldham Lane's a tough. All that traffic. We need, if we're going to have to build a place where we don't have to drive all that through That said, every one of the students in the district still are kids, and we still want the very best. So we said we are going not have an 8 one side of the district. We're going to do everything. Have 2 A teams. That's our full intent. We are going to all be Wylie Bulldogs. We're all going to purple, gold. Some of you that, some of you a lot. We are going to do everything we continue to keep what we hope is a family feel to your students. Most I would say very tail end of that about school board. That would probably be some future school board determined. Right now, I haven't even looked at a fairly even. Did I answer all of your? We want them to be proud Wylie Bulldogs. Yes. Okay, the question is about class sizes and deciding which teachers are teaching where. We still have the same number of students. I mean, we're growing each year, so we're going to have, more students next year, and we're still going to have approximately the same ratio of students to teachers. But what we have done was we have gotten input from the staff and talked to them about what their preference was as far as teaching on at which campus. Some of those we were able to fulfill, some of those we weren't. And the bottom line is we felt like if we could not just say every teacher that wants to teach on the east side or west side, we could fully meet those requests if it did something that we considered would imbalance the quality of staff on each campus. So basically, the class sizes will remain about the same. Across, at the grades 4 and below, that maxes out at 22 to 1, and we're generally between 20 and 22. And then in the upper grade levels, it can go higher than that, but we're generally pretty close. The question is, can you transfer a student for any particular reason? And our stance is right now we have got to maintain the integrity of a line, and so therefore it's incumbent on us to say we're going to provide a quality education on both sides, and that transfers. If you start having transfers, you have no way of knowing. It's very difficult to keep track for us. So we are not going to have transfers. Yes, ma'am. Let me talk about, the question is about GT classes. Let me talk a little bit broader about all classes of different, what we call special populations. GT is one of those. Title I, dyslexia, special education. I miss anything? ESL. All of those are going to be offered on both sides. We have had a TK, transition kindergarten. We've had a T1 for students who might not be maturing at the same rate as they're young. we're going to also continue to offer those services because we think it's right for kids. So both sides from the beginning, we're going to go ahead and offer full services on both east and west side. Good. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Excuse me. Okay. That's a good question. So the question is if you move. And so you're, for example, if you live on the west side today and you move to the east side, right. My thought is that you would be going where you live. Those are hard deals because we know kiddos don't like to change schools. Maybe they want to be with their friends, but we feel like we need to keep the integrity of the line. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. We still will provide bus service. That one would be possibly a transfer bus if you live, for example, on the east side. Am I backwards for you? Okay. We will still transfer them to where they're needing to be. Is that what we do now? That's what we do now, right? Right. Let me just say, if you would be sure and talk to us, there are going to be some unique individual issues on transportation, and we know that. But if you'll be sure to talk to Mr. Besant, he takes care of those. And if as most of you know, those first few days of school buses are always a little bit challenging anyway. We've got a bunch of new faces on buses, and they're at different campuses. So if you work with us for a little, we'll get that correct, and we'll try to do it from day one. Saw a hand over here, maybe. Yes. Yep. So we have a small group that first year, but we do have we're using let me get that. We're going to use a smaller, it'll be the size of a classroom. It's going to see where it shows this flex room. That will be that first year library. And again, that's going to be for a lot less kids. Those classrooms are going to be big enough to handle that. Good question. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Well, middle school, intermediate, it's just they'll go to school. All the fifth grade teachers that are teaching those kids will be at that campus. Then the next year they'll go to the East Junior High. The fifth graders? No, sixth graders do. They'll get to do the same activities. It'll be the same course. Can you think of anything? I think the sixth grade is when they start going to the electives, more elective options. The question was, do the fifth graders at the middle school have more activities at the junior high or something? It's a sixth. Yes. And if I need to be corrected on that, let me know. I think that's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The question is, what are we going to do about sports, and will they compete against each other when we have the new junior high on the east side? And one of the driving forces behind making the decision to also have a junior high on the east side as well as an elementary is that when you have, for example, right now, 110 seventh graders playing football, it's very difficult to find games for 110 kids. And then you have, 35 or 40 kiddos on a team. Our thought is that we want kids to have the opportunity to participate, and the more teams we have, the better. And so, just like in Wylie Little League right now, we got all of our kids in the Little League and they play against each other. When we have the junior high, we'll have 2 fully functioning sets of teams, and they will have their own schedules, and eventually they will play. So, but again, it's the main thing, the driver behind that is we want the kids to play. And whether it's in, we're going to have a fully functioning band on both sides, fully functioning choirs, everything is going to be on both sides. That's our driving desire there, is to have the kids participate. On the very back. The question is, will the East Campus have an independent set of transportation buses? And what we have is we've got one large fleet, and so what will happen is, and Mr. Besant, correct me if I'm wrong, but what will happen is we will have a set of buses on the east side. When school's out, they'll load over there, just like we do on the west side. So we're going to be transporting a few more students next year, which we'll probably have to add a route or here or there. But on the east side, we feel like they'll be able to deliver quickly and then come back to the west side after they've delivered, and then they will be able to pick up routes at the junior high if necessary and high school. Did that answer? Okay. And I saw, yes, ma'am. Well, we have talked about that. I will tell you that I'm initially, if we just have, it really depends on the street. We have talked at length with the contractor. And we do have that. What I'm going to work on doing is getting you that information in August. We'll have that posted online, and you'll have a chance when we have Meet the Teacher Night. We'll give a lot of that information. But yes, we do have a flow. It's going to be a challenge that first year because of the road work. Sure. So the question on that is if the timelines, and as you know right now, we stagger our start times with the campuses. And so, for example, if I have a first grader on the east side and a fourth grader at the intermediate campus, the time for the buses, are you talking about drop-off or drop-off in the morning? There will be probably, actually I think we're starting the campuses at 8 o'clock, but it really doesn't take long to get from that corner of Colony Hill and Atlee, or Colony Hill and May, to those other campuses. I don't know that it'll be much different. It'll be a little different, definitely, but it won't be a tremendous amount of difference if you were at the other campus, dropping off at West Side Elementary in the. Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely, yes. And so the plans are, I really like playgrounds, and I like colorful playgrounds, and I like for them to have a lot of equipment. We are, of course, we're right here, we're coming out, and we're going to actually put it in this area. It will be enclosed, and we're working on a large playground that's going to be age appropriate for pre-K through first grade. So there's going to be a playground over here for them, and then when phase 2 is done, and that'll be second through fourth grade, there will be a playground on this side for second through fourth grade. So it'll be more age appropriate for them as well. That's a good question. All of them are. Yes, sir. Well, we're substantially higher. I don't know. I've lived here a long time. I know that the crossing of the bridge that goes, that's right where the entry water is to the lake, I have seen that flood, but it doesn't ever, I've never seen it get, the dam is quite a bit below where all the roads are on Maple, where the campus is. So I don't, the flooding is quite a bit lower than where we are. And I don't know if you've seen it, but we're going to be built up. We're kind of up on a hill over there. So, did I hear it? Was there another question? Did that answer it? I don't think, for the most part, folks are going to have a hard time getting to it because it is quite a bit higher than the lake. Yes, ma'am. Question is, there going to be traffic lights at Maple and Colony Hill or anywhere else? Beltway and Maple. From what we understand, of course, we don't have a lot of control. We have been in conversation about it. We feel strongly that there's going to be a need for some type of control at the corner of Colony Hill and Maple at school drop-off and school pickup time. The first year, I think it's because the numbers are going to be fairly low. I don't think it's going to be a big problem the first year. Second year, I think it'll be much more challenging. Right now, what we have been told is that they will not do it in the first year. We are in constant communication with the city, and we're encouraging. We think there's going to be a lot of traffic there that's different than what they've seen. The traffic that is going to be turning, if you're on 707 and heading east, that's where you have to make a left turn on the Maple. The population that would have to do that is not real large. Most of our population is going to be east of Maple, coming towards Maple from the east. So we think they'll have an option. If they're turning right on Maple from Colony Hill Road, I don't think you're going to have trouble making a right on anything. And then coming from Oldham Lane onto Colony Hill Road, you will have to take a left there, but most of the traffic could be traveling with you, so I don't think that's going to be a hard thing there. The corner of Colony Hill Road and Maple definitely does concern us, and I think they're going to have a three-way stop there, which will be slow, but fairly safe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Colony Hill, the question is, are there any plans to widen the road? Colony Hill is going to go from what it is currently, and it's going to be called a collector, the there are different levels of road classifications. It's actually eventually going to be 4 lanes, maybe a 5th lane, from the corner of Colony Hill and Maple all the way to about the junior high, which is down east of South Lake Addition. And it's going to be curbed and guttered and really wide. Maple Street, they're going to do what they call shoulder improvements, so they're widening it about 3 feet on each side. But it's going to be a road similar to what 707 is. There's not going to be a curb and gutter on it. So it's not going to be as nice of a road as Colony Hill is, but they base everything on models, and they say their model shows that Colony Hill is going to be more traveled than Maple. And that's the reason they said that is because Colony Hill has 2 housing on each side of it, where Maple can only have housing on one side of it. Those of us who've traveled Maple for a long time, we don't know that we agree with that, but it's hard to convince an engineer that he's wrong, so I've failed miserably. Yes, sir. Everything they'll have, the question is, will the East Junior High have practice facilities? We already have plans for 2 practice football fields like we have at the other campus. We'll have a track. We'll have tennis courts. We'll have basically everything that we've got at West. And again, full band, full choir, all those extracurricular activities, we know that. Now let me just say this. This is probably more detailed information than you want to know, but those practice fields, we're already looking at trying to somehow get some grass started on it this summer, because if you just have one growing season for that grass, they'll make a mess of it. It'll be a mud ball after one season. So we're going to try to get some grass. Of course, the problem is we are going to be getting effluent water to help water our practice fields, and we'll also be watering the areas around the elementary. And the reason for that is we want the community to be able to use the areas and the fields around both schools for Little League baseball, soccer, football, the little football guys. So we are going to eventually have affluent water, but we're going to be, I don't know exactly, we're going to either have to truck water in to help get that grass started on those practice fields so it's not a mess the next. Yes. The question is, do we need to do anything different for enrollment or rat packs or anything like that? And so, right now, does anyone in here not have a 79602 zip? So, this is the 79602 zip code that goes to this. It runs all along the east side of our district. So, we are going to promote everybody to the east side, the campus where I showed you they were going to go. With that said, the rat packs, for right now, all that is going to be the same, because we've had the teachers get together and try to work through those issues. So, what grade? First grade. So, you've already been in kindergarten. So that student is just going to be rolling right into first grade at East Elementary. You don't have to. And if we show up on the first day of school and you say, you don't have a spot for my kiddo, talk to the principal, and she'll say that superintendent did not move my kiddo over, so she'll take care of me. We'll get them in the right spot. I will say this: anytime you undertake something of this magnitude, and I do feel like it's some really big steps for Wylie ISD, there are going to be some mistakes. I wish we could tell you that we wouldn't make a mistake. We will make some mistakes. We're going to try to minimize that. We have been working really hard. Y'all saw some of my mistakes. I think we sent you 3 emails to try to get some of this done. I apologize for all the emails, but we finally figured out how we can communicate. I hope you got my email that told about the road closure at Maple and Colony Hill, because when we found out about it Wednesday and we got that out on Thursday. Does he have a question? Okay. Who's the principal going to be? This is Miss McMillan is going to be the principal. You need to, I always knew the principal really well when I was in school. And they knew me a lot better than they wanted to know me. But he'll go meet you here in just a second. Yes. We're going to try to fully develop the TMSCA. We're going to try to fully develop both sides. Now, I can tell you we really like to win those academic meets, and we have been very successful at doing that. So we may have some growing pains where we still do that, or we practice it at their campus, and we may come together at the end of the day. But I anticipate that the east side and the west side will even compete in those events as their own campus. Yes, ma'am. Will they be competing against each other? Yes, just like we would with an athletic team. And again, I think our hope is that there'll just be more opportunities for students because we have twice as many spots. Let me just say that there are a few little things that are basically campus based. We can work through some of those events. It's not our desire to exclude anybody from anything, but there are some of those. He was asking about the masquerade party at the middle school, and they hadn't done that at the intermediate, of course. So that'd be a good question for you to talk to Miss McMillan, or no, actually Mr. Hagler and Mr. Yes, ma'am. Well, it was really. We did a couple of different things. We tried to look at their strengths and weaknesses, and for the most part, at the lower grade levels, they were able to give us their inputs. That we had about the right number of teachers that wanted to go to the east side, and we looked at the talent of that staff, as it were, and we made the decision. I think most of those actually are teaching kind of on the side of the district at the lower grade levels. At the upper grade levels, it was a little more challenging because we had subject areas instead of grade level teachers. And so as you got in the upper grades, it was really principals saying, hey, we've got 2 really, really, really good math teachers, and we want 1 really good math teacher on each side. So the principals kind of made that decision, and then the science and the English. And it'd have been nice if everything would have been 50-50. Our composition is about 45% of our students live on the east side today, and about 55 on the west side. So it's not even a pure 1-to-1 on everything. So, but that's pretty much how we did it. We sat down, we talked about the different teachers, their personalities, their strengths, their weaknesses, and we tried to make the decision that would make both campuses, as we say, both A teams. Sure. And one of the things that I think will be a challenge, I really think that anytime you have 2 of anything, if we all had 1 kid, we wouldn't have to worry about dividing that pie in half. So, Mom, you always liked him better than you liked me, or something like that. I think that's inherent with any time there are 2 of something. And what my job is going to be is to make sure everybody feels like they are still part of that family, that Wylie family, and that our desire is that we don't have anybody feel like they're shortchanged. As a matter of fact, if I go to the west side, I want to say, man, my school's the best. If I'm on the east side, I want that kid to say, my school's the best. And so we know it'll be a challenge. We have said that we hated the whole idea of having to split grades for that very reason. But again, due to numbers, you just have to do something. We really feel like we've, in visiting with the principals, have done really well at making that. Yes, ma'am. Both of them will be at the east. If you're on the east side, do you live on the east side? Both of them will be at the east side the second year. That first year, it's just the pre-K through 1. The second year, everybody that's on the east side will be on the east. Yes. Just to say, the question is, will we be hiring new GT teachers? And what we'll be doing is preparing both campuses to be able to deliver those services. I hesitate to say we're going to hire new GT teachers. Some of the new teachers may teach GT and some of them may not, but I think what we're looking at is our existing staff and seeing how that would we can balance. Well, it looks like we've killed an hour tonight of your valuable time. And if I know it's about 10 till, again, I want to say thank you for coming out. If you have any questions, call Desiree. She's the secretary at the administration office. And no, we'll try to get back with you as quick as we can and answer those. We're going to, again, try to have this. Mr. Young, are we going to be able to put this on the website tomorrow? Okay. Like you'd want to go through this again tomorrow. I know that. So probably watch reruns all summer long. Okay. Thank you all for your attendance. And if you want to come up and you feel like you need to come and ask another question, please come on up. We'll go from there. Thanks for coming. And remember, it's great to be a Wylie Bulldog.